impose on the chaos is that we'll let Marissa go last. Okay? So she can have.
I'm going to bring order.
Who are you
You're
reading?
going to bring order.
Yeah.
And that was Ernest Holmes.
That was Ernest Holmes, 1944. Absolutely. I need to clean it up a little. That's why I was stumbling through it because it's kind of wicked looking on the page. So I need to clean it up a little for you, and I'll put it in Publisher and add some nice graphics and make it available for you. Absolutely.
Isn't it essential Ernest Holmes?
Huh?
Isn't that in the essential Ernest Holmes?
I believe it is. I don't really remember. It's been a long time, but yeah. Now I want you to notice while we're waiting for whatever comes next in here, I want you to notice what Ruth just did. Ruth took a very simple question and tried to turn it into a book sale. This is what we want from our practitioners. If you can leverage it into money, that's good, see?
It's my favorite class.
Say, isn't that in that book? Yeah. Is there an app? No, I'm kidding. Yes, I will make this available. Isn't that beautiful, though, what he said in there? And he talks about how, down the years, science is going to show more and more, and this is 1944, and it's like, well, it has. Talk about the whole field of psychosomatic medicine and so on. What have you there?
Are you complete?
I am. I'm ready
Okay.
for somebody else to come
Okay,
take
I'm
the
coming up
microphone.
there now.
Okay, very well.
But first, I have
But first.
something to show everybody who's here, because this is going to be waiting for you back there. Linda, I'm going to ask you to cut it at the end of the service.
Sure.
This is in honor of Marissa. Isn't that great? So.
What is it?
Strawberries and chocolate cake.
Ooh.
Gluten-free, right?
Come see.
Sure. I don't know. I didn't order it.
Oh my God, it's the head of John the Baptist. No.
Some surprise.
Halloween, man.
Halloween, man. I know. Sweet.
This is in honor of Marissa, our newest practitioner. Can you see that, Chris? What is it? Let me show you. Yeah, I'll give it to you.
I don't know. I think Marcia said she was calling it into order or whatever.
She's busy. Somebody else. You want? Come on, Linda.
Oh.
Linda Klesson, ladies and gentlemen. Yay!
Good seeing you, sir.
Thank you. My name is Linda. Oh, wait a second. I knew Marcia had something to do.
She will.
No, it's just that, I have to be in charge
Yes, you do.
sometimes.
Look at it.
Don't go.
Give me that.
'Cause I'm gonna call each of the practitioners up, and I'm gonna say a little bit of something about them, just a little, not
Okay.
much. And what I wanna say about Linda is, she's a practitioner, and she's everything else. You've seen her everywhere else in this center. She greets, she helps with the kids, she encourages us, she just is all over the place. Well, and cleans up the kitchen and serves and on and on and on. Bookstore, yes. So the idea of a practitioner meeting with people and praying is absolutely right. And voila, this is also what they do.
Oh, thank you, Marcia. I was going to try to do this and not cry about it. But what it means to be a practitioner to me, and first I'd like to say welcome, Marissa. Congratulations, and of course to Brenda, but Brenda's in Kentucky, or is practicing out of Louisville, Kentucky. But being a practitioner is probably one of the best things I've done outside of giving birth to my children. And I love CLC, I love Jesse Jennings, and I love Marcia Lehman, and I love the people in this center, at this center. They are my spiritual family. And being a practitioner allows me to serve and love to those at the center by being practitioner of the day, holding in prayer, being called to be held in prayer. There's nothing more beautiful or reverent to me that somebody trusts me enough to come to me and ask me for my prayers or spiritual mind treatment. I also love serving this center, as Marcia said. Marcia and Jesse have this way of asking you to do things that you can't really say no to, I found, and which is wonderful, I guess. They see in each one of us the power, the presence, the love that wants to pour forth. Before I get to rambling, I just want to say that it is an honor and a privilege to be a practitioner of creative life and science of mind, religious science, whatever we are called. I hope I covered everything. It's just absolutely a huge part of my life, and I look forward to practicing it each and every day in every way. So thank you very much.
Now, I'm going to call Tom and Monty at the same time. Would you both come up here, please? And Lisa, did you bring Hercules? Is he still here too, or is he? No?
Only in my heart and my muscles.
Only in my dreams. So, two of the men, strong men, who are our practitioners, I thought you should see them together. And I would like for Tom to go ahead and just say a few words. Not many, because he's a man who is strong, but a few words. And we love that. We love Tom. He can carry out the garbage with the best of them. I've seen him. He's helped. And he also shows up Wednesday evenings to help us do whatever and to close us in prayer. You're just the sweetest man. I love you. Aww.
So, being a practitioner is many different things. Sometimes it's helping on Wednesday night, doing whatever needs to be done, filling in for people. Sometimes it's showing up on Sundays and helping set up for blood drives, for our lunches, staying around afterwards. Sometimes it's even just coming out and helping at the last minute when there's a funeral or a wedding. So to me, it's about service. It's about just kind of helping when you need to. And it's spontaneous, it's unique, and it's a lot of fun.
Thank you, Tom. And Monty, one of the first times I ever saw Monty was when he was directing traffic out in the rain. It was and you were barefooted, and it was when the construction was going on out there, and he was helping, and I just couldn't believe it. I thought, there's somebody that's going way beyond the call of duty, and it was you. And Monty, and that was way before he was a practitioner, and that's what he does here. He just steps right in whenever there's a need. And he also knows how to pray, big time.
Yes, he does.
Thank you.
And little kids, lots of kids.
Sometimes the vocabulary around this place can be a little distracting. So if you're a practitioner, that means that you've shown up here and you attended, you paid attention, maybe you took some notes, maybe you went and did some research, took a class or two. If you started following or using the philosophy and it speaks to you, then you're a practitioner of the science of mind philosophy. If you took way more classes and you put in some blood, sweat, and tears and some money over a period of time and you got a certificate, then you're a licensed practitioner. Right? So, a year and something ago, when there was supposed to be a certificate, and it did show up eventually. And we were together on a night like this, is when I became a licensed practitioner, and I was installed, and so forth. But I'd like to say a few words about the moment that I became a practitioner of the science of mind. I stumbled into here through a series of circumstances that was very roundabout, and found this place back in the day over 20 years ago. And there was something in it that just kept making me come back and listen a little bit more and listen a little bit more. And when I realized that I could believe, after the history that I had had, and knowing that I could never believe in anything, when I realized that the science of mind philosophy would enable me, of all people, to believe in something with all my heart, without making everyone else in the world wrong at the same time, is the moment that I became a practitioner of this teaching. I love to teach other people, teenagers, adults, and anything else that I can do to help anyone. So, if you're a practitioner, you know that there's a field of love surrounding, permeating, that there's a Holy Spirit supporting and carrying us forward. You know these things if you're a practitioner of the teaching. If you're a licensed practitioner, you're required to know these things. Professional is a word that gets thrown into that phrase sometimes. Are you a licensed professional practitioner? Being a licensed practitioner doesn't mean that you're going to get paid for your work, but it means that you're allowed to be paid. Yeah. So that's our vocabulary. Welcome, and thank you all so much for everything you do for us.
Ruth, would you come up, please?
Ruth the truth.
Read the truth.
Hallelujah, amen.
Thank you. So I think everybody knows Ruth, and you get to meet her when she's greeting, whether she's an official greeter or not, she greets. Whether she's teaching, she has been teaching the little kids, and just is taking a little sabbatical now. I made that up. And she is here to hug and love and be our Ruth.
Thank you. Okay, Marissa. What it means to be a practitioner. Oh my God. I think that the first thing that I realized about being a practitioner a long time ago, before I ever knew what a practitioner was John Lennon and his song, My Sweet Lord. And all the different names he came up for that. Realizing that I have a whole lot of names for whatever that is. And initially, coming to this teaching and learning about everything we learn in the practitioner's training, et cetera, We work real hard on ourselves. We work real hard on getting to know God in us, right? Well, there comes this magical moment, and if I blurt out crying, I'm very sorry, that you realize that what you've been gifted with is this wonderful thing that you can help other people find the God in them. That all of a sudden, when I look at you, I don't see Marissa, mother of 4 or 5. I see Marissa, child of God, eyes of spirit, heart of gold. And sometimes when Marissa doesn't look back at me and see that in her, then that's my job. To let you see, to mirror back to you what a wonderful human being you are. And I've gotten that from my mentors, from my Marcia, from my Jennings, my dude, from even my daughter Lisa, little Chris, and those two. All the people that have shown me what love really is and have let me know that God lives in me. And to just sum it all up in a little acorn, because they're all over my car these days, you are whatever you want to be inside that little hat. And it's time to let every bit of sunshine and rain and whatever's going to come your way fall on you to blossom and to be the tremendous Marissa tree you are. And that's what I've learned about being a practitioner. Thank you.
And I think Lisa, would you come up, please? Running Reverend Lisa,
Yeah, that's me.
who's been a practitioner for a long time.
I think 8 years.
Yeah, it's a long time. And this woman shows up with the teens. She shows up when someone needs extra care. She shows up on Wednesday nights. She shows up over and over. So you're getting a picture about practitioners. They're not just professional, licensed practitioners. They are people who adore this center and love everybody here.
Yeah, I've been a practitioner for at least 8 years. And every time we do one of these, I think of something different. But last year, I kind of came to this realization. And maybe it was because I went through 4 years of ministerial school. Because the cool thing about being a Science of Mind minister is we are still practitioners first. We show up as practitioners. And I realized that what a practitioner means to me is that we are the hands, the feet, the mouth, and the ears, and the heart of God. We are how God shows up in the world consciously. Because everybody is the hands, feet, heart, mouth, ears of God. But as a practitioner, we are conscious of that. Please don't let me kid you, we have our unconscious moments too. We wouldn't be human if we didn't. But when we put that hat on and say we are practitioners, then we are entering into that conscious union with that God being that is always there. And we are allowing that God being to flow through us. We are quite literally opening those gates and letting that love flow through us into the world. That's what being a practitioner means to me. Showing up in love and doing what's there to be done.
So now, Marissa, would you please come up? So this woman, standing before you, moved into classes and moved into practitioner classes like a hurricane. And she just has grabbed everything she could grab. And she has served everywhere she could serve. And in addition to all of that, she got her practitioner license. She took the exam, she did the panel, and then she and her partner, Brenda, who'd been through practitioner studies, came to me and they said, what else can we do to practice the art of being a practitioner? What else? I had never had had you ever had a practitioner say that to you?
No.
No, me either.
Never.
So she's like the first, and she is a tower of intelligence and strength and wisdom and curiosity, and can never be enough, do enough, have enough, because she knows that there's an infinite universe that's always available to her and to all who come to her. So she and Brenda are doing the telebridge calls now on Monday nights. And they don't just stop there, they stay afterwards to hear me just say, you might try this and you might try that, because being a practitioner on a telebridge is different than being a practitioner in even the garden room or one-on-one or even one in a group. So I just want to say how much I admire this woman and for all that she's accomplished in her own personal life and also in her spiritual life and in the life of a practitioner here.
Yay! Thank you. And something Jessie mentioned maybe a month or two ago is that the secret of being a practitioner is that when you treat for other people, when you lead meditations for other people, when you lead calls for other people, you're also reaping the benefits yourself. So when I lead the meditations here, when I lead the meditations on the call, I get that deep sense of peace. When I treat here in the garden room after Sunday service, when I treat on Monday nights during our call, I get that deep sense of peace and connection to source and connection to spirit. And by doing something that helps me, the other people on the call appreciate that so much. And it's a symbiotic relationship, a completely symbiotic relationship and positive relationship. And I really enjoy it. Thank you.
Okay, so are you wanting to say something else? Okay, that would be a good time for it.
Can you all move just a little bit more that way so we're all in the shot? All right, so this is your installation. We do things in a very streamlined, modern, efficient way here at Creative Life. Your license actually did come in, Monty. I think you opened the floodgates with, now all we need is Lisa's ministerial license and we'll be good to go.
Yeah.
From Centers for Spiritual Living, registered trademark. Be it known that through its leadership council, by virtue of the authority in it vested, has authorized and hereby grants the recognition of practitioner of religious science to Marissa Migel, RSCP, with all honors, privileges, and obligations thereto appertaining. This recognition is made at Golden, Colorado, and is in full force and effect on the first day of August 2018. They backdated it to when you finished your oral panels. So it's my great pleasure to present to you your license, and around back there's a letter, and there's also a wallet card here. But where you really live as a practitioner is in our hearts. In our hearts, okay? So congratulations. Listen, Mike. more thing, and this goes to what Monty said, in talking about Marissa and these others, and Danielle and Donna, who left, but the others who are in training, and John Rennie from Knoxville, Tennessee, in training here. Janet, you had these classes, and others who are going to come later. You know, this is the culmination of hundreds of hours and thousands of dollars of investment that these people have made to receive this, all in preparation for serving you. That's why we can't honor them enough. You know, we have this one night a year, and it's sweet, and we turn out, and we'd have had more, but for the weather, but we can't thank them enough. We can't honor them enough. And Marcia and I would be the first to tell you, so we couldn't do our jobs without the practitioners, but that makes it all about us. You know, we couldn't do what we do. It's like they're not our roadies, and Lisa and the other ministers coming along. It's like the practitioners don't hold our coats. You know, they're out in front. They're in the vanguard. They were the first. They were the first in this organization to be the spiritual leaders, the ecclesiastical leaders, and ministers came later. So thank a practitioner. Let this be a mantra. Thank a practitioner today, every day. Thank a practitioner. Because when you don't see them working out in their hands, out in their feet, they're working in here. They're working in consciousness, keeping the high watch. So here's Marcia again, and we will close up the public portion of this to get ready to cover the stage with plastic for the special private initiation.
I'm gonna remind you there's a video running.
Oh, right, yes.
Whoops.
Whoops. Uh-oh.
I just wanted to close with the idea that there is a statement in the Science of Mind magazine, an article by Ernest Holmes in October, and Jesse chose the articles for the
Daily guides.
thank you, the daily guides, and then of course his column is there. But this particular one by Ernest Holmes, it's in there every month, and this one is How to Talk to God, and there's a statement that says, wouldn't it be wonderful to feel that you are cradled in such a love and wisdom that divine power is immediately available? And when I was reading that, I thought, cradled in love. And that's what we are, and that's what practitioners recognize and see, that each person is cradled in love. And when they don't know it, when they don't remember it, and they come to a practitioner reminds them that they are cradled in love. They may not say the words, but that's the feeling that happens when a practitioner meets with someone who needs prayer. So Lisa, I think we're ready to close our circle, and there's that lovely cake that Darlene Everett bought in your honor and Linda picked up. So it's there for everybody to have a bite. And Marissa, you probably don't eat it, do you? And Lisa, do you want us to circle, or do you want to just have a closing?
Yeah, you bet.
Do you